Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for today's writing tip. My name is Staci Mauney and I'm the co-owner, editor, and writer at prestigeprose.com. Today I want to discuss with you echoes in writing. Echoes are certain words or phrases that are repeated in an author's work, and we all have them. These are common words used close together, or maybe an uncommon word used more than once in a scene or a chapter. The use of echoes is usually not intentional, but they stand out because, and they draw the reader's attention to the word rather than the story because of the repetition. Every writer has certain words that we prefer, even J.K. Rowling and Jane Austen. An example of an echo is to start a paragraph with "he walked," and then you start the next paragraph with "he walked." Because that phrase is used so close together, it's going to stand out to the reader. Another way is to use an uncommon word more than once in an entry, in a scene or a chapter, or even in a book, depending on the word. The word might be found several pages later, but it stands out because it's not a word that's used very often. For example, the use of "the coyote's scream curdled his blood," followed a few paragraphs later by "the milk curdled in the pan," will catch the reader's attention through the use of the word curdled. It's just not a word that we hear very often. Echoes of related sounds can also be distracting, things like homophones or even inadvertent rhymes. And the reason this is important is because of the popularity of audiobooks. So if you think that you're going to turn your book into an audiobook at some point, you need to pay attention to how it sounds when it's read out loud. I want to share my screen with you now to show you an example of a passage with some echoes here. So this is our original passage. As I walked to the drugstore to get a soda, I walked by the old library. The library was my favorite place in town. As I stared at the front of the library, I saw a face looking back at me from the upstairs window. Now, there are a number of ways that you can correct this, but you will notice, I hope, some of the echoes. I walked, the library, the library, the library. So we have several echoes in this passage, and let me get to the next page here. As I walked to the drugstore to get a soda, I passed the old library. It was my favorite place in town. As I stared at the front of the building, I saw a face looking back at me from the upstairs window. That's one way you could correct this, by replacing "I walked" with the second "I walked" with "I passed," the library with the building. So there are things like that. Synonyms are your friend in cases like this. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen and just wanted to do that to give you a practical example of echoes, what they look like, sound like, and one way to correct that passage. To discover your echo words, you can check your work at a couple of different websites. One is wordcounter.net and the other is sporkforge.com. I'll put those websites in the comments to this video because those are a couple of websites that you are going to want to have access to. And you just copy and paste in your text. Sporkforge.com actually will also indicate any phrases as well as repeated words. So those echo phrases it will catch as well. When you discover your echo words, you can do a find in Word, and I believe Scrivener also has a similar feature to help you find a number of repeated words. And then you can replace some of those with synonyms or reword for an entirely different structure. I don't use Scrivener, so I don't know exactly what the tool is called there, but I know that it is available and wanted you to know that if you use Scrivener. Do you already know what your favorite echo word is? Mine, I use a lot of "as she did," "as he did," "as is one of mine, and that is another one of mine. So they don't have to be unusual words, they can be very common words. If you know yours, let me know in the comments. And if this video was helpful for you, please click like below and subscribe for more great content. Thanks for watching and happy writing.